Criminal Law Book 2, 100, Review Questions, Part 2.
Are you ready?
Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more.
1.
This is committed by an offender in possession, by reason of the public office he holds, of the articles, data, or information referred to in the preceding paragraph, discloses their contents to a representative of a foreign nation. A. Correspondence with hostile country. B. Inciting to war or giving motives for reprisals. C. Violation of neutrality, espionage. Espionage.
2.
This is committed by an offender without authority enters a warship, fort, or naval or military establishment or reservation to obtain any information, plans, photographs, or other data of a confidential nature relative to the defense of the Philippine archipelago. A. Correspondence with hostile country. B. Inciting to war or giving motives for reprisals. C. Violation of neutrality, espionage. Espionage.
3.
This is committed by any public officer or employee or private individual who, by unlawful or unauthorized acts, provokes or gives occasion for a war involving or liable to involve the Philippine Islands or exposes Filipino citizens to reprisals on their persons or property. A. Correspondence with hostile country. B. Inciting to war or giving motives for reprisals. C. Violation of neutrality, espionage. B. Inciting to war or giving motives for reprisals.
4.
This rule states that no person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses at least to the same overt act. A. Treason witness rule. B. Proof beyond reasonable doubt. C. To witness rule. D. Double cross rule. C. To witness rule.
5.
The following are special qualifying circumstance of piracy except A. Seizure of vessel by boarding or firing upon the same. B. Abandonment of victims without means of saving themselves. C. Crime is accompanied by a conspiracy. D. Crime is accompanied by murder, homicide, physical injuries, or rape. C. Crime is accompanied by a conspiracy.
6.
This is the only crime against the fundamental law of the state that may be committed not only by public officers, but also by private persons. A. Search warrants maliciously obtained. B. Searching domicile without witnesses. C. Abuse of authority of search warrant legally obtained. D. Offending religious feelings. D. Offending religious feelings.
7.
The crime of violation of parliamentary immunity is committed may be committed by arresting or searching any member thereof while the Assembly Congress is in regular or special session, except in case such member has committed a crime punishable under revised penal code by a penalty higher than A. Prison correctional. B. Prison mayor. C. Reclusion temporal. D. Reclusion perpetua. A. Prison correctional.
8.
This is committed by any person who shall make use of force or intimidation upon any person coming to the aid of the authorities or their agents on occasion of the commission of any of the crimes defined in the crime of direct assault. A. Direct assault. B. Indirect assault. C. Assaulting directly. D. Assaulting indirectly. B. Indirect assault.
9.
This is committed by a person who attacks a person in authority while performing his official function. A. Direct assault. B. Indirect assault. C. Assaulting directly. D. Assaulting indirectly. A. Direct assault.
10,
The following are qualifying circumstances of direct assault except A. When the assault is committed with a weapon. B. When the offender lays hands upon a person in authority. C. When the offender is a public officer or employee. D. When the assault is committed with homicide. D. When the assault is committed with homicide.
11,
The following are rights of policemen conducting arrest except A. Right to summon assistance. B. Right to assault offenders. C. Right to break into a building or enclosure. D. Right to break out from a building or enclosure. B. Right to assault offenders.
12,
This is committed by burying with pomp a person legally executed. A. Disobedience to summons issued by the National Assembly. B. Resistance to agent of person in authority. C. Disobedience to agent of person in authority. D. Tumult. D. Tumult.
13,
This is committed by any convict who shall evade service of his sentence by escaping during the term of his imprisonment by reason of final judgment. A. Delivery of prisoners from jail. B. Evasion of service of sentence. C. Evasion of final judgment. D. Violation of conditional pardon. B. Evasion of service of sentence.
14,
This is committed by a convict who, having been granted conditional pardon by the chief executive, shall violate any of the conditions of such pardon. A. Delivery of prisoners from jail. B. Evasion of service of sentence. C. Evasion of final judgment. D. Violation of conditional pardon. D. Violation of conditional pardon.
15,
This is an incorrect statement under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003. A. Sexual exploitation refers to participation by a person in prostitution or the production of pornographic materials. B. Sexual exploitation is a result of being subjected to a threat, deception, coercion, abduction, force, abuse of authority, debt bondage, fraud, or through abuse of a victim's vulnerability. C. There is no sexual exploitation if the victims consents the same. D. None of the above. C. There is no sexual exploitation if the victims consents the same.
16,
This is the omission of some act which ought to be done. A. Omnifeasance. B. Malfeasance. C. Nonfeasance. D. Misfeasance. C. Nonfeasance.
17,
This is the improper performance of some act which might lawfully be done. A. Misfeasance. D. Nonfeasance. B. Malfeasance. C. Omnifeasance. A. Misfeasance.
18,
This is an order issued by the court between the commencement and end of a suit and the action which decides some point or matter. A. Final order. B. Semi-final order. C. Interlocutory order. D. Mandatory order. C. Interlocutory order.
19,
This is committed by any public officer who shall accept gifts offered to him by reason of his office. A. Direct bribery. B. Indirect bribery. C. Qualified bribery. D. Corruption of public officials. B. Indirect bribery.
20,
This is an order issued by the court that finally dispose a case. A. Interlocutory order. B. Final order. C. Semifinal order. D. Mandatory order. B. Final order.
21.
This is committed by any public officer who shall agree to perform an act constituting a crime in connection with the performance of this official duties, in consideration of any offer, promise, gift, or present received by such officer, personally or through the mediation of another. A. Qualified bribery. B. Direct bribery. C. Indirect bribery. D. Corruption of public officials. B. Direct bribery.
22.
Which is the complete definition of prostitute? A. Prostitutes are persons who, for money or profit, habitually indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct. B. Prostitutes are women who, for money or profit, indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct. C. Prostitutes are women who habitually indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct. D. Prostitutes are women who, for money or profit, habitually indulge in sexual intercourse or lascivious conduct. The correct answer is D.
23.
Which is the correct statement in relation to violence against women and children through psychological abuse? A. The offender is liable even if he is living abroad, provided that the offended party, who is residing in the Philippines, psychologically suffered from the actuations of the offender. B. In violence against women and children through psychological abuse, the offender, an offended party, must be residing in the Philippines. C. In violence against women and children through psychological abuse, the offender, an offended party, must be living abroad. D. None of the above. The correct answer is A.
24.
Jose kicked and punched his 10-year-old child in order to discipline him. Is Jose liable for violence against children through physical abuse? A. Yes, because the actuations of Jose are expressly punishable under the law. B. No, because the actuations of Jose are absorbed in the crime of physical injuries. C. No, because Jose has no intention to degrade his child. D. None of the above. C. No, because Jose has no intention to degrade his child.
25.
The crimes of gender-based streets and public spaces sexual harassment are committed through any unwanted and uninvited sexual actions or remarks against any person regardless of the motive for committing such action or remarks. Is this not true? A. True. B. Yes. C. False. D. No. Do you know?
26.
The term public spaces under Bowell-Bastos law refers to the following, except A. Streets and alleys. B. Private parks. C. Schools. D. Malls. B. Private parks.
27.
Mr. A has a long-standing grudge against his neighbor. One day, Mr. A surreptitiously poisoned the cow of his neighbor, resulting in the death of the cow. What crime was committed? A. Malicious mischief. B. Violation of PD 533. C. Physical injuries. D. Unjust vexation. B. Violation of PD 533.
28.
Angel, a 9-year-old girl, consented to have sex with a 19-year-old neighbor. What crime, if any, did the neighbor commit? A. Simple rape. B. Violation of child abuse law. C. Qualified rape. D. Qualified seduction. A. Simple rape.
29.
This is the accurate title of Presidential Decree 749. A. Granting immunity from prosecution of bribe givers. B. Granting immunity from prosecution of bribe givers and other gifts, and to their accomplices in bribery and other graft cases against public officers. C. Granting reward to bribe givers. D. Granting authority as state witness to bribe givers. The correct answer is B.
30.
This is a public and malicious imputation of a crime, or of a vice or defect, real or imaginary, or any act, omission, condition, status, or circumstance tending to cause the dishonor, discredit, or contempt of a natural or juridical person, or to blacken the memory of one who is dead. A. Libel. B. Slander. C. Incriminating innocent person. D. Intriguing against honor. A. Libel.
31.
Which of the following statement is correct? A. In the crime of abduction, the victim may be a male. B. The crimes of seduction and abduction are exactly the same. C. In the crime of seduction, virginity is presumed if the offended party is of good reputation. D. There is no crime of consented abduction. The correct answer is C.
32.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. The crime of concubinage may be committed only by females. B. The crime of concubinage may be committed only by males. C. In the crime of concubinage, the concubine shall suffer the penalty of distiro. D. The crimes of concubinage and adultery are exactly the same. The correct answer is C.
33.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. In the crime of seduction, the age of the victim is not being taken into consideration. B. In the crime of seduction, virginity is automatically presumed. C. In the crime of seduction, virginity is presumed if the offended party is unmarried and of good reputation. D. In the crime of seduction, virginity refers to physical virginity. The correct answer is C.
34.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. The crime of adultery may be committed only by females. B. The crime of adultery may be committed only by males. C. Each sexual intercourse constitutes the crime of adultery. D. Act of intercourse prior to adulterous conduct is an implied pardon. C. Each sexual intercourse constitutes the crime of adultery.
35.
The penalty imposed in qualified theft shall be the next higher by A. 1 degree than that imposed in ordinary theft. B. 2 degrees than that imposed in ordinary theft. C. 3 degrees than that imposed in ordinary theft. D. 4 degrees than that imposed in ordinary theft. B. 2 degrees than that imposed in ordinary theft.
36.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. The crime of possession of picklocks is committed by any person who shall without lawful cause have in his possession picklocks or similar tools, especially where he does not have lawful cause for such possession. B. The crime of possession of picklocks may be committed only by private persons. C. Both A and B. D. Nota. The correct answer is A.
37.
This is the willful damaging of another's property for the sake of causing damage due to hate, revenge, or other evil motive. Such act shall not constitute arson or other crimes involving destruction. A. Robbery. B. Malicious mischief. C. Arson. D. Unlawful destruction. B. Malicious mischief.
38.
These have the intent of gain except A. Theft, B. Robbery, C. Malicious mischief, D. Piracy. C. Malicious mischief.
39.
This is the malicious destruction of property by fire. A. Murder, B. Malicious mischief, C. Arson, D. Lancerni. C. Arson.
40.
This is theft committed by stealing coconuts from the premises of the plantation. A. Robbery, B. Theft, C. Estafa, D. Qualified theft. D. Qualified theft.
41.
This is committed by any person who, with intent to gain, shall take any personal property belonging to another, without violence or intimidation of any person, nor force upon anything. A. Robbery, B. Brigandage, C. Theft, D. Estafa. C. Theft.
42.
This is committed by any person who defrauded another by abuse of confidence or by means of deceit and damage or prejudice capable of pecuniary estimation is caused to the offended party or third person. A. Robbery, B. Theft, C. Brigandage, D. Estafa. D. Estafa.
43.
This is committed by any person who, by means of violence, shall seize anything belonging to his debtor for the purpose of applying the same to the payment of the debt. A. Grave threat, B. Grave coercions, C. Light threat, D. Light coercions. D. Light coercions.
44.
This is committed by preventing another by means of violence, threats, or intimidation from doing something not prohibited by law. A. Grave threat, B. Grave coercions, C. Light threat, D. Light coercions. B. Grave coercions.
45.
This is committed by threatening another with the infliction upon the person, honor, or property of the latter or of his family of any wrong amounting to a crime and demanding money or imposing any other condition, even though not unlawful, and said offender shall have attained his purpose. A. Light threat, B. Grave threat, C. Less grave threat, D. Semi-light threat. B. Grave threat.
46.
In the crime of abandoning a minor, said minor must be A. Below 7 years of age, B. Below 12 years of age, C. Below 15 years of age, D. Below 18 years of age. A. Below 7 years of age.
47.
Which of the following statements is correct? A. Statutory rape is the same with rape by sexual assault. B. Only male persons may commit rape by sexual assault. C. Only male persons may commit statutory rape. D. Only demented persons may be victims of rape by sexual assault. C. Only male persons may commit statutory rape.
48.
X assaulted Y so the latter was hospitalized for 25 days. What is the crime committed by X? A. Grave serious physical injuries, B. Serious physical injuries, C. Less serious physical injuries, D. Slight physical injuries. C. Less serious physical injuries.
49.
If abortion is practiced by the woman herself or by her parents to conceal dishonor, the penalty is A. Mitigated, B. Aggravated, C. Not imposed, D. Suspended. A. Mitigated.
50.
Which of the following statements is not correct? A. Mercy killing is the same with euthanasia. B. In mercy killing, the person killed does not want to die. C. Assistance to suicide is the same with mercy killing. D. In assistance to suicide, the person killed wants to die. C. Assistance to suicide is the same with mercy killing.
51.
Jose pushed a 3-days-old daughter of his sister that caused into death. What is the proper crime did he commit? A. Homicide, B. Murder, C. Infanticide, D. Parricide. B. Murder.
52.
When fire is used with the intent to kill a particular person who may be in a house, and that objective is attained by burning the house, the crime is A. Arson, B. Arson with homicide, C. Murder, D. Murder with arson. C. Murder.
53.
A killed bee while they were in mission to the moon. What crime was committed by the former? A. Murder, B. Qualified homicide, C. Homicide, D. No crime. C. Homicide.
54.
A killed bee while they were in mission to the moon. Is the former is liable? A. True, B. False, C. Yes, D. No. D or no.
55.
Jose, a police officer, arrested without a warrant for the commission of a crime, which is not one of the elements that will constitute arbitrary detention. A. Jose is a public officer or employee. B. Marco is suffering from violent insanity. C. Jose arrested Marco without a warrant. D. Jose's detention of Marco is without legal ground. B. Marco is suffering from violent insanity.
56.
What is the crime committed if the offender killed a person whose age is less than 12 years of age? A. Homicide, in the absence of any qualifying circumstances under Article 248. B. Murder, if not attended by circumstances under Article 246. C. Murder, even if the offender is any of the parent. D. Parricide, regardless of relationship by consanguinity. The correct answer is B.
57.
To save himself from crashing into an unlighted truck abandoned on the road, Jose swerved his car to the right towards the graveled shoulder, killing the bystanders. Is he entitled to the justifying circumstances of state of necessity? A. No, because the bystanders had nothing to do with the abandoned truck on the road. B. No, because the injury done is greater than the evil to be avoided. C. Yes, since the instinct of self-preservation takes priority in an emergency. D. Yes, since the bystanders should have kept off the shoulder of the road. The correct answer is C.
58.
As modifying circumstance, insanity, A. exempts the offender from criminal liability, whatever the circumstances. B. May be presumed from the offender's previous behavior. C. May be mitigating if its presence becomes apparent subsequent to the commission of the crime. D. Is in the nature of confession and avoidance. D is in the nature of confession and avoidance.
59.
The husband has for a long time physically and mentally tortured his wife. After one episode of beating, the wife took the husband's gun and shot him dead. Under the circumstances, her act constitutes A. Mitigating vindication of grave offense. B. Battered woman syndrome, a complete self-defense. C. Incomplete self-defense, D. Mitigating passion and obfuscation. B. Battered woman syndrome, a complete self-defense.
60.
A battered woman claiming self-defense under the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children must prove that the final acute battering episode was preceded by battering episodes. A1, B2, C3, D4. B2.
61.
3 men gave Jake fist blow and kicks causing him to fall. As they surrounded and continued hitting him, he grabbed a knife he had in his pocket and stabbed one of the men straight to the heart. What crime did Jake commit? A. Homicide with incomplete self-defense, since he could have run from his aggressors. B. No crime, since he needed to repel the aggression, employing reasonable means for doing so. C. Physical injury. D. Nota. The correct answer is B.
62.
The classification of felonies into grave, less grave, and light is important in ascertaining A. If certain crimes committed on the same occasion can be complexed. B. The correct penalty for crimes committed through reckless imprudence. C. Whether the offender is liable as an accomplice. D. What stage of the felony has been reached. A. If certain crimes committed on the same occasion can be complexed.
63.
Proposal to commit felony is punishable only in cases in which the law specially provides a penalty therefor. Under which of the following instances are proponents not liable? A. Proposal to commit coup d'etat. B. Proposal to commit sedition. C. Proposal to commit rebellion. D. Proposal to commit treason. B. Proposal to commit sedition.
64.
A proposal to commit felony is punishable only when the law specifically provides a penalty for it, as in the case of proposal to commit A. Rebellion. B. Sedition. C. Espionage. D. Highway robbery. A. Rebellion.
65.
Conspiracy to commit felony is punishable only in cases in which the law specially provides a penalty therefor. Under which of the following instances are the conspirators not liable? A. Conspiracy to commit arson. B. Conspiracy to commit terrorism. C. Conspiracy to commit child pornography. D. Conspiracy to commit trafficking in persons. D. Conspiracy to commit trafficking in persons.
66.
A, B, and C agreed to rob a house of its cash, A, and B entered. For cash, A and B decided to set the house on fire to destroy any evidence of their presence. What crime or crimes did C commit? A. Robbery and arson, since arson took place as an incident of the robbery. B. Robbery and arson, since C took no step to stop the arson. C. Just for robbery, since he only agreed to it and served as lookout. D. Accomplice to robbery, since his role in the crime was minimal. C. Just for robbery, since he only agreed to it and served as lookout.
67.
When are light felonies punishable? A. Light felonies are punishable in all stages of execution. B. Light felonies are punishable only when consummated. C. Light felonies are punishable only when consummated, with the exception of those committed against persons or property. D. Light felonies are punishable only when committed against persons or property. The correct answer is C.
68.
A private person who assists the escape of a person who committed robbery shall be liable. A. As a principal to the crime of robbery. B. As an accessory to the crime of robbery. C. As a principal to the crime of obstruction of justice. D. As an accessory to the crime of obstruction of justice. C. As a principal to the crime of obstruction of justice.
69.
In an attempted felony, the offender's preparatory act, A. itself constitutes an offense. B. Must seem connected to the intended crime. C. Must be not connected to the intended crime. D. Requires another act to result in a felony. D. Requires another act to result in a felony.
70.
X allowed a man to have sex with her thinking that he was her husband. After realizing that the man was not her husband, X stabbed him to death. Under the circumstances, the mitigating circumstance in attendance constitutes A. Defense of honor. B. Immediate vindication of a grave offense. C. Passion or obfuscation. D. Self-defense. D. Self-defense.
71.
The mitigating circumstances of immediate vindication of a grave offense cannot be appreciated in a case where A. Following the killing of his adopted brother, P. went to the place where it happened and killed S. whom he found there. B. X kills Y. who attempted to rape X's wife. C. P. severely maltreats S., a septuagenarian, prompting the latter to kill him. D. M. Kildar, who slandered his wife. The correct answer is A.
72.
The crime of robbery in an inhabited house or public building is mitigated when the offenders A. Entered the house using false keys. B. Although armed, did not fire their weapons. C. Entered through a window without breaking it. D. Although armed, took property valued at only P200. D. Although armed, took property valued at only P200.
73.
X, intending to kill Y, a store owner, fired at Y from the street, but the shot killed not only Y but also Z, who was in the store. As a case of aberratio ictus, it is punishable as A. Complex crime proper. B. Special complex crime. C. Continuing crime. D. Compound crime. D. Compound crime.
74.
A special complex crime is a composite crime. A. Made up of two or more crimes defined in the Penal Code. B. With its own definition and special penalty provided by the Penal Code. C. With its own definition and special penalty provided by a special penal law. D. Made up of two or more crimes defined in the Penal Code and special penal laws. B. With its own definition and special penalty provided by the Penal Code.
75.
Maxim burned the house of Chucks without knowing that he is inside and died as a result. Maxim is liable for A. Murder. B. Arson. C. Arson and murder. D. Arson with homicide. B. Arson.
76.
Refers to a movement which seeks merely to effect some changes of minor importance to prevent the exercise of governmental authority with respect to particular matters or subjects. A. Rebellion. B. Insurrection. C. Treason. D. Sedition. B. Insurrection.
77.
One type of robbery is robbery with force upon things, and the other is robbery with A. Force upon persons, B. Violence upon things, C. Intimidation of persons, D. Violence against person. D. Violence against person.
78.
What term describes the crime wherein a person sends email with a claim to being part of a legitimate transaction to influence the recipient into divulging personal information? A. Phishing scams, B. Information fraud, C. Identity theft, D. Computer fraud. A. Phishing scams.
79.
What is the liability of the jail warden if the evasion of a prisoner should take place through his negligence? A. Delivering prisoners from jails, B. Evasion through negligence, C. Reckless imprudence, D. Conniving with consenting to evasion. B. Evasion through negligence.
80.
But if the detention prisoner conspires with the one letting his escape, said detention is liable for underscore as principal by indispensable cooperation. A. Delivering prisoner from jail, B. Delivering prisoners from jail, C. Evasion of service, D. Evasion through negligence. A. Delivering prisoner from jail.
81.
What is the liability of the convicted prisoner serving his sentence? A. Evasion of service of sentence, B. Delivering prisoners from jail, C. Consenting or conniving to evasion, D. Evasion through negligence. A. Evasion of service of sentence.
82.
If the offender is not the custodian at the time of the escape of said prisoner, what crime was committed? A. Evasion of service, B. Delivering prisoners from jail, C. Infidelity in the custody of prisoners, D. Other cases of evasion. B. Delivering prisoners from jail.
83.
If the offender is the custodian of the convicted prisoner, what crime was committed? A. Delivering prisoners from jail, B. Evasion of service, C. Infidelity in the custody of prisoners, D. Other cases of evasion. C. Infidelity in the custody of prisoners.
84.
A police officer entered the house of another. There is a signage prohibiting anyone to enter without the permission of the owner. When can the police officer be liable for violation of domicile? A. He will not be liable unless told to leave by the owner of the house. B. The police officer will be liable the very moment of her entry. C. He will be liable only once the owner noticed his entry without consent. D. He will be liable unless the owner gives his consent once discovered. The correct answer is B.
85.
Uncle, auntie killed her nephew. What crime is committed? A. Parricide, B. Infanticide, C. Homicide, D. Murder. C. Homicide.
86.
Organized crime groups are usually successful on its illegal operations because most of the time they have deeper connections with A. Underground operatives, B. Government officials, C. Private entrepreneurs, D. Terrorism. B. Government officials.
87.
X with intimidation pointed the knife to Y to get the latter's jewelry. Upon evading from the former by driving his motorcycle, accidentally bumped and hit his wife, resulting to the death of the latter. What crime is committed? A. Robbery with parricide. B. Robbery. C. Robbery with homicide. D. Robbery and murder. C. Robbery with homicide.
88.
A. B and C are prison guards who escorted D in attending a court hearing in Manila City. Arriving too early in the courtroom, A and B went to a nearby restaurant to have coffee. When D was being watched by C only, D and his cohorts succeeded in escaping. The said prison guards can be held liable for what crime? A. Conniving with prisoner. B. Consenting to evasion. C. Illegal break time. D. Evasion through negligence. D. Evasion through negligence.
89.
A person asked you for advice on how to file a case of adultery against his wife. Which of the following are allowed by the rules in order to initiate the filing a concubinage case? A. The case of the adultery is a public offense. It can be initiated by the police. B. The case of the adultery can only be initiated by the complaint of the offended spouse. C. The case of adultery can be initiated even without the complaint of the offended spouse. D. None of these. The correct answer is B.
90.
In Art 125 of our PC, what does it mean to deliver the detained person to the proper judicial authorities? A. Bringing the offender to justice. B. Filing of complaint to the prosecutor. C. Bringing the victim to justice. D. Filing of information in court of competent jurisdiction. D. Filing of information in court of competent jurisdiction.
91.
X killed his loved one. His loved one was suffering from incurable disease and without the possibility of resuscitation. A. Murder. B. Homicide. C. Parricide. D. Infanticide. A. Murder.
92.
Stepfather killed his 9-year-old stepson. A. Murder. B. Homicide. C. Parricide. D. Infanticide. A. Murder.
93.
Jenny and Carlo are not married, and they have a child, Mark. During a storm, Jenny killed Mark. What crime is committed? A. Murder. B. Homicide. C. Parricide. D. Infanticide. C. Parricide.
94.
Police officer Jose arrested Luffy without legal ground and without a warrant. Jose committed the crime of A. Violation of domicile. B. Illegal arrest. C. Arbitrary detention. D. Unlawful arrest. D. Unlawful arrest.
95.
The accused with lewd design brought the woman who is a minor in a secluded place, but with the consent of the latter. The accused is liable for the crime of A. Simple seduction. B. Forcible abduction. C. Qualified abduction. D. Consented abduction. D. Consented abduction.
96.
Rebellion and coup d'état, when committed by military personnel, will subject them to court-martial proceedings. What is the nature of court-martial proceedings? A. Civil administration. B. Administrative. C. Sui generis. D. Criminal. C. Sui generis.
97.
In arbitrary detention, it is required that the offender must be a person in authority or agent. B. Any person. C. A public officer or employee. D. Private individual. A. Person in authority or agent.
98.
The crime committed when a person killed her illegitimate daughter who is a minor under the circumstances provided by Article 247 is A. Infanticide, B. Murder, C. Homicide, D. Parricide. D. Parricide.
99.
The crime of adultery is committed by any married woman who shall A. Have sexual intercourse with a man under scandalous circumstance, B. Enter into marriage with another man other than her husband, C. Have sexual intercourse with a man is not her husband, D. Live in conjugal dwelling with a man who is not her husband. C. Have sexual intercourse with a man is not her husband.
100.
A private individual to be considered an accessory, the author of the crime, must be guilty of any of the following, except A. Murder, B. Treason, C. Parricide, D. Infanticide. D. Infanticide.
Comment your score.
Study smarter, not harder. Subscribe for more.